start recording, I will open the chat also and keep it here. Okay. Now what we will do is we will just for the sake that in case we don't know the thing, let us apply the rules of centralization. And okay, let me clear with the two bishops. We'll just check it out. We'll put the two bishops at the worst possible positions, one here and one here. Okay, and we will keep the black king right in the somewhere in the center, right? Let us say we'll keep him here, and we will keep white king at the other end. Okay, and we will see how to checkmate from this position. Okay, white to play. So that we'll just continue from here. Oops, not this analysis board. Okay, fine. Analysis board will take it. All right. Yeah, good. 90. You have done 95. Anything about 90 will be good. Okay, because you are almost there. All right. Ansh, you have joined. Good. You had some difficulty, I heard, with two bishop mate puzzles. Huh? So we are going to do this, Ansh, right now. Okay. So this is almost the worst position for white to start with. Black king is in the center and all the white spaces are in the corner. Okay. So we will start from here and see how to go about cornering the black king. Okay. First things first, I would like to centralize the bishops, but I would like to get my king also. So I will start with getting my one of my bishop in the center. Okay, you can tell the move for black. Anybody can tell what?
King F4.
King F4. Okay, fine. King F4. Fine. I will now bring the other bishop also in the center. See, and the bishops, two bishops, when they are together, right, the king cannot approach them. See, because they cover both the colored squares. Both colored squares are covered. So king cannot really attack them when they are together. Right? Okay.
Yes, F5.
Huh? King?
F5.
King F5. Okay. So now it is time to bring in our king. All right. Okay. Let us bring our king now.
King F4.
King F4. Okay. You will try to keep doing it this much. So let me keep bringing my king in.
King F5.
King F5. Okay. Let me still bring my king up.
King F4.
King F4. Okay. All right. So far you are thing. Now that we are centralized, now let us start pushing the king. I will come to king to E6.
King to G5.
King to G5. King to G5 is good. So now what I will do is I will cut off further. I will bring my bishop to E5. See how now notice how my two bishops are going to control these diagonals together. Okay. And they are going to press the king. So where will you go?
G6. King G6.
King G6, huh?
Yeah.
If you go to King G6, all right. So let me bring my bishop to E4.
King G5.
King G5, right? King G5. All right. So you want to further control this. Okay. So now I want to bring my other bishop in here. Okay. Bishop to F5.
King H4.
King H4. All right. King H4. Excellent. So I will bring this bishop also here.
King H5.
Now there are only two moves really, right? King H5 and King
F6, like right? For white.
So fine. So now let us see how to now drive him to the corner. Okay. So that is the idea now. So we have to drive him to the corner. All right. So we have to be careful not to give a stalemate. All right. So what we will do is, yeah, let us do this. Let us do this so that now I'm going to drive him in towards the corner. So
King G5.
King G5.
G5.
King G5. Now king will come to E5.
King H5.
King H5, right? King H5. Sounds good. So now what do we do? Now let us press him to
King F6.
King F6.
King H6.
King H6. All right. Now we don't, okay. So now let us disallow this H4 so that we'll pressing him further.
H7.
King H7 only move, right? King H7.
Bishop to F4.
Bishop to F4. Correct. Now it is bishop to F4. Okay. Slowly we are getting it there.
King G8.
King G8. King G8, which is good. Which is good. So at this point of time,
E7.
no, I think what we should do is,
Bishop to D6.
I think a bishop to E6. Okay, we'll do it here. Okay, we'll do it here. Bishop to E7 first.
King to H7.
King to H7. All right. So now let us king to F7.
King to H8. Only move.
Right. So king to H8. All right. Now we will just do king to bishop to G5.
King H7.
H7, and now bishop to
Then bishop to F5.
right.
H8. Bishop F.
Bishop
Then bishop to
F6
F6.
after this. Bishop
Right. This is the way to go. Right. I think you will be able to do it. I think it is fairly, see, because the bishop and the two bishops are like entire diagonals they control, right? It becomes easy. So if you just follow this, I think you will be able to do it. Okay, Ansh?
Okay.
All right. Okay, just try it and you will be able to do it. But key part is centralization. First is you have to centralize all the pieces and then you can easily drive him to the corner. Okay, and once, see, the both bishops being there, you can always lose a move by either of the pieces. In bishop and knight, you have to be careful because only one bishop can lose the move, not the knight. But here, because you have two bishops, you can always, you can be a little bit more careless and still win. In knight and bishop, if you are careless, then it will take another 10-15 moves to bring back 10 moves. So that becomes a thing. Okay. All right. So I hope you got this. So I will just take this down somewhere. And so we'll go back to so two bishops anyway, you go through this section and you will get this fully. Okay. And we have covered the mating with the knights, mating with two knights, different, what do you call, king, different material advantage. Last time we looked at all the things we looked at, king versus bishop, queen versus bishop, queen versus knight, we looked at it. Pawns also we looked at it too much. Pawns supported by bishop, supported by knight. And then, yeah, there were this position also we looked at, right? Yeah, we looked at it, this position where sometimes you can allow the, extra pawn will prevent stalemates and you can checkmate the king, right? So this also we saw it. Then what was the last position? This also we saw it. So I think we saw all of this. So let us continue. Now there is a section. See, chess problems are very, very interesting and they actually teach you a lot in a very different way because they are synthetic chess positions. But so we'll look at how to solve chess problems. Okay, and there are a lot of almost 900 or some 90 problems are there in this section. So you are supposed to solve it. Okay, I think, solved them all. So yeah, I think obviously some of them I could not get it or made some mistake, but otherwise generally I think I have solved all. So let us look at it. So what happens is, yes, something like this. So these are all these are all synthetic positions, but there is some twist in the thing and there is some instructive thing. Okay. So normally when the problems, okay, first of all, different types of problems, right? One is either mate in X moves, right? Or win, right? Or draw. Those are called as studies and the other ones are called as problems. Okay. So problem means normally it is a what do you call checkmate or win something big within a specified number of moves. That is what is the thing, right? Studies is where you can make any number of moves, but generally few, like generally 4, 5, 10 moves. Within that, you should be able to have a clear win, right? Now, solving these things, there are some patterns that you can use to solve. Okay, so you can read through this theory material that is there. Okay, but typically there should be only one solution because these are all synthetic ones, right? So there the general accepted norm is that there will be only one solution. Okay, and everything else will have a refutation. Refutation means the other side will be able to avert either defeat or checkmate or whatever it is in the number of moves. So it will not be a solution. So solution will be only one. Sometimes it does happen that the creator of the problem intends one solution, but another solution gets found. If that is the case, then it is called as a cook. Okay, that is the terminology.
Sir, what is the study again?
Okay, study is when the objective is in a position. The objective is to find a path to win. Okay, or draw. Okay, normally because it is synthetic, so always win is there. They will always say white to play and win. Okay, or if it is a draw, then it will be white to play and draw. So normally the white to play and draw means white will be in some significant material. Materially he will be weaker, but he will still be able to draw. Okay, that is how it will be constructed. Or it will be material will be almost equal, but still there is a clear win. Okay, so that is the positions when it is studies. Okay, so the objective is to not to checkmate, but to find a winning position. Okay, I mean sequence of moves which will give you, and not just any sequence of moves, against best defense from the opposition side also you will be able to win. Okay, so that is what is the objective of the study. It is called as a study. Okay, and problem is when it is a mate in X moves or mate, or sometimes rarely it will be told that you can win big material in X moves. Okay, 1 moves, 2 moves, 3 moves, etc. Those are the problems. Okay, it is all explained here. In problems, white begins and mates his opponent against the best defense. In studies, it is demanded to find the way to win for one of the parties, usually white. Okay, so that is what is the thing. So it should have only one solution, right? It is not a thing. This is the convention. If a side solution is discovered, then yeah, composition loses its right to exist in the sense that it is not considered as a great composition anymore. It is not considered as a valid composition anymore. Okay, composition means it is someone has created it, put it together, right? So it will never go into any tournament. There are tournaments that happen of problems itself, of studies. Okay, so depending on how good the study is, etc., then people, there is a solving competitions are also there, and then there are composer also. I mean, people evaluate. People look at the problems and evaluate, and then there are prizes, etc. There is a whole world of just problems itself. Okay. So what, so we will look at it. So starting from, I think, mate in 1, obviously, if you try out all the possible legal moves, which will, in a given position, there will not be more than, say, 20 legal moves, more or less, maybe 15, maybe 20, 25 maximum. But if you try out all of this, it doesn't take much to try out all, right? So mate in 1 is not really considered a problem anywhere. Okay, it is just at the instructive level, beginner level, you are given mate in 1s. Nowhere else is it published. Okay, as such. Mate in 2 puzzles are published. Mate in 3 are published. Mate in 4 are published, etc. As like valid thing. And what happens is mostly in mate in 2, the first move is the key to the solution. First move is the key. Key means it will enable certain threats or it will enable a checkmate. It will not be a check. Okay. As a rule, it will not be a check, first move. Or it will not even be a capture in good problems. Okay, because the captures and checks are so obvious, right? So that is what everybody will try first, and hence there is a norm that in chess, when you create chess problems or you compose chess problems, the key move will never be a capture or a check. Okay, it will be a quiet one. Okay, sometimes it is a waiting move, sometimes it causes a zugzwang, or sometimes it just prepares for the next move. Okay, so that is how it is. So you can also you can almost be sure if some problem is given, you can almost be sure that immediate capture or a check will never be a solution. Okay. So look at this problem. Look at this problem. It is mate in 2. Okay.
Rook to c1.
Rook to c1. What is the idea? What is the idea? You tell me. What is the idea? Queen will capture the c7. Huh? But rook to c1, I will just play c6.
So then he'll play d6.
So if you play d6, I will put my queen to b8.
Okay, so we'll play d6.
To b1.
Rook to b1. If you play rook to b1, okay.
Sir, I think it's rook to h1.
Rook to h1. Rook to h1. No. Rook to b1. Let us see what is the thing. What will black do? Rook to b1. Again, d6 will be the black will play d6.
Then you can do queen to h3.
Queen to h3. Then the rook will come to d7. So it's a mate in 2. So if you can't do mate in 2, then it's gone. Mate in 3 is not a valid solution, right? So queen h3 will rook d7, and you have not checkmated, right?
Sir, queen to b2.
Queen to b2. Queen to b2 again d6. See d6. It is coming out that d6 is the move which is always allowing the king.
So rook takes d7.
Rook takes d7, then rook takes d7 again. Black will take the rook with d7.
So then queen to b2.
Queen to b2. All the 2 moves are done, right? You have not
Sorry, I didn't see that.
right. See, pay attention to it. Okay, d6 is always appearing to be the move which will save the black. So can you prevent d6 somehow?
So queen to h3.
Yeah, Abhinav, Nandan, look at it. Okay, and it is on the way. The key thing is see, queen to d6 is the solution. Okay, it's a quiet move. It is a surprising move. It is allowing the queen to be captured, right? But it prevents, the very big actually what it achieves is it prevents the pawn from moving to d6. Okay, the d pawn from moving to d6. Now, if c pawn takes queen, right? If c takes d6, then rook to c1 will be, queen to d6. Queen to d6. If c takes d6, then rook to c1 is checkmate. See, now this was, rook was always waiting. You did not see that there could be a checkmate, but by forcing the c pawn to move to d file, now suddenly you have got a checkmate possibility, right? And if you do not do it, if you do not take it, if you play c6, then as someone earlier said, I will play queen to b1 and then, again I'm clicking the queen to d6. If black plays c6, then queen to b8 is checkmate, right? If black does not play c6, black simply moves the rook. Black moves the rook. Just 1 second.
Queen to d7 checkmate.
Yeah, queen to d7 is checkmate. Just 1 second. See, again, this checkmate was possible. Earlier, you were never thinking that queen d7 will be a checkmate because the rook was guarding it. But the rook was forced to move because there was no other move. So by queen coming to d6, it is forcing black rough. Actually, it is like a zugzwang, okay? So black would ideally not like to do anything, right? In which case, you will not be able to easily checkmate. Okay, there is a queen b, what do you call? There is a, what other threat it brings it is a queen coming to d6. There is also a queen to a6 also check is threatened. Okay, so you have to make way for the king somehow. So anyway, but you saw this, right? This was actually composed by world champion Max Euwe, but 8 years before he became world champion, in 1927, he composed it. Okay. So this was just to give a glimpse of how problems. Okay, let us look at the next one. Mate in 3. This is mate in 3. Yeah, think about it. Anyone? Any tries? Again,
It's mate in 2, right?
sorry, white to play.
It's mate in 2, right?
Mate in 3. Mate in 2 is not possible. If you
Rook
destroy it,
F7.
then the problem will become removed from the chess history.
Rook F7.
So queen to G3.
Okay, rook
Rook F7.
F7. Rook F7. What is the idea of rook F7? You will be
Sir, I'll put my rook to F8.
F8. But then the black rook will take the pawn. So that if you give rook F8, then king will be able to escape.
Sir, then I can put my queen to A7, right?
You can put your queen to A7. King will capture A7, right?
No, sir, the king is on C8.
No. You are taking second move, third move you are telling, or first move you are saying?
I'm saying second move, sir.
See, rook to F2, rook to C6. Then if you say queen to
E7.
E7, then rook to G6 check. Right? So third move will be gone. Your third move will be gone after that.
So what about queen to G4? So I mean queen to G3.
Queen to G3. What is the idea of queen to G3? Rook will take the C pawn. Rook takes C6.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think Madhura, you hit upon it. Queen to A7. It's a quite more surprising move, but it is the right solution. Okay. Queen to A7. Now look at all the possible. Okay. What is the idea of first of all queen to A7? The idea is queen to C7 checkmate. That is the threat. Oh, you said in the previous move, huh? But actually this is the first move and that is the solution. Okay. Queen to A7. So see what happens is if rook takes A7, if rook takes queen, then see again coming to the thing. See all the time the rook was saving the third checkmate by capturing the C pawn. But now if rook takes the queen, now he can no longer, first of all, now he cannot take it. Even the next move he cannot take the C pawn. Right? And C pawn is the one which is kind of keeping the black king in the deathbed. Right? It is not allowing escape via B7 or D7. So now it is very simple for what? For the king. Now king will come to F7.
So can also come to H7, right?
No, H7 there is a problem. Figure out why H7 is not a possible. Only F7 works. King F7 works.
No, because if king to H7, then black will play king D8.
Correct. And from D8, then next time you give a check, he will escape via E7. So to seal the E7, you have to bring the king to F7 and then threatening the rook to G8 mate, and which cannot be prevented. Right? So king F7 is very crucial, not king H7. Okay, now we will look at all the other possibilities. Okay, and first of all, I think we will look at the other possibilities of white which do not work. Queen comes to C5, then king to B8. This prevents the thing. If king comes to earlier itself, if in the first move itself, if king, right, what was the idea? See, king B8 means that if queen goes to F8 now check, then king will come to A7. Right, that is why black king has moved to B8. Okay, so preventing a Queen to f8 check is now answerable by king to f7. Okay. What if we go back and say first move itself king to h8, allowing the rook to come to g8. Then also rook takes c6. Rook takes c6 is always the black's defensive maneuver to defend from mate in 3. Okay, it is a problem. It's a puzzle. So it is not like black will not be able to defend forever, but it is about defending from the threat, right? Okay, so that is why queen to a7 works. And what if rook takes c6? What if rook takes c6? Then very simple, queen to a8, because the rook has moved from the a file, now allows the queen to go down to a8 and give a checkmate. Right? So this is what is the solution. Okay, queen to a7 was the solution. And it looked a very unlikely move, right? Most of the time the puzzles will be like that. The first move will be a very unlikely move, but it will have some idea. Later on, you will realize the logic. Okay, it will not be very apparent. It is like a murder mystery, right? Or thriller mystery, crime mystery. There will always be some logic finally to how you unravel it. But throughout till you are reading it, you will not be able to make out, right? That's what is the idea. It is just like that only. Okay. Okay, so Abhinav is asking, what if on the second move, the black king does not move? Okay, but something he has to move, right? So queen a7, what is the move? So that's why we said, what is your move? Rook takes c6, we have seen it. What other move can black can do? If he cannot move the king, if he anyway cannot move the pawn, then the rook, where else can he move the rook? If he anywhere else he moves the rook, then queen will go to c7 and check.
I meant to move after this.
No, but first of all, you tell what is the move of black now.
Rook takes a7.
Rook takes a7, huh? Okay, rook takes a7, king f7. Now you move the rook also. Then also, even if you move the rook, it's okay. Rook is still a checkmate.
Okay.
Right? Okay. All right, let's go to the third one. Third one is a very instructive one in a different way. Okay. It is a mate in 4 moves. King is already kind of at the edge, ready to get checkmated. Only the knight is preventing the checkmate, right? And very, very instructive way for this problem. This idea comes many times. Okay. So you should know this idea very well. So look at it carefully. This problem is, look at it carefully and tell what is queen to d4. If queen to d4, then what happens is, yeah, you are pinning the knight, but the king will escape. King will come to g4. And then after that, you give a check, it will go to g5 and all, whatever it is, right?
Yes. Queen e1 check.
Queen e1 check. Oh, double attack on the queen. But black is not so much worried about losing material. He will be very happy to go to g5, king to g5. You take the knight, but after that, king will go to f6, and then it will take, you will not be able to checkmate in 2 more moves. Definitely. Right? See, the idea is this, okay? You have to keep the king in the prison. So wherever it is, you have to keep the king in the prison. Then only you can do it. So now you have to find a move which will So imagine like this, okay? Somehow in the same position, if black were to move, what would happen?
So white would win.
Not just win, white will be able to, if black were to move, then white will be able to checkmate in maximum 2 more moves.
Yes, sir. So, sir, should we move the queen to g8?
Queen should move to g8, okay. Then knight will move to g5.
All right.
You are close, okay. You are close, but think about it a little bit more. Okay, so coming back, see, if you were to make black move in exactly the same position, if it is black to move, Then on the immediately after black moves, next move white will be able to checkmate. Okay. Just look at it. Black's both pawns are blocked. King is also hemmed in. Only piece that can move is the knight. Okay. If it moves anywhere, then white can deliver checkmate. Just see for
I
yourself.
guess queen g7.
Yeah.
d4 is good.
Solution.
What's the difference in G7? Oh, okay.
There is
So
a
now
very
you
We
can
can
go
roll over the
to
d4. So
D4.
There is a very big
Now you
difference.
can go to Queen
Then you
D4.
have Queen D4 check.
So now you can go to Queen D4.
Correct. See, knight will come to g5, but now you can go to d4 and give a check. Okay, the difference is even from g8, you could have come to c4 and given a check. But what is the difference? I will show you the difference. Knight again comes back, okay, and there's no point in capturing the knight because then the king will escape via g5. So the key move is queen comes back to g1 now.
Oh, okay, so now it's black's
It's
move.
black's move.
Yeah, so white has managed to lose a move by going triangulation. G1 to G7 to D4 to G1. Now black is now in the same position. Black is to move. Now no matter what you do, if knight goes to G5, then queen G3 mate. Knight goes to G3, then also queen takes G3 mate. And anything else, there is also still queen G3 mate. Right?
Yes, sir. So I didn't see that you can go there and then do that.
That is why that is why that G7 or G8 is a very big difference, right? From G7, you could come back to D4 and come back to G1. Yeah, exactly. Nandan, you're right. Right? So such ideas come, okay? And these are also the ideas that will help you sometime in the game, okay? If you are playing a lot of games, if you are playing tournaments, some position somewhere will come where such a thing will click. So that is why studying the things is also very important. Okay? All right. So what we'll do is we will take a small break and we will join back. Okay. So maybe 3-minute break. We'll take it. Okay. And we'll join back. I will also grab some water or something.